To address Monica McNutt's point, I found it very unfortunate that she would say that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the executive producer of First Take. You ever heard of Monica McNutt? You have now, because she's on First Take a lot. Shanae Ogumake, absolutely wonderful, spectacular basketball analyst, etc., WNBA player in her own right. Ask her how it's been to be on First Take. How about Andrea Carter, who's a rising star in this business? How much do you think First Take helped that? What about Kimberly Martin? What about Molly Kiram herself? Now, I have sat back for years and taken a lot of shit from people. Some who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Some who act like they don't know just because they want to get at me. I could care less about people getting at me. I just want you to be accurate. And it is highly offensive to me when somebody implies or flat out states, like Monica McNutt did this morning, which was factually incorrect. I challenge anybody to find a show in sports television that discusses women issues, that discusses the WNBA or women's sports, that highlights and profiles female analysts more than First Take. It's been going on for years. One of my producers here is a guy by the name of Galen Gordon, who used to be a producer on First Take. He was one of the people who spearheaded highlighting diversity. You as an audience don't know this, but Monica McNutt does. The James Dunn and the David McKinnons of the world and others. These are black men overseeing First Take. My boss, the HNIC, as they say, one of the executives, the top 3 executives at ESPN overseeing First Take is a black man by the name of Dave Roberts. We have black women. We have white women. Mina Combs, let me not forget to mention her. There's a female host on my show. Anybody trying to let go of Molly? Before her, it was Carrie Champion. Before Numbers Never Lie came along with Jamel Hill, she's on First Take. First Take has spearheaded diversity and equity. You have any idea how offensive it was for me to sit there and hear Monica McNutt say that about me when I'm the one who handpicked our roster on First Take? Now, again, we're only talking about this incident. I love Monica McNutt. She's phenomenal. And she is a friend, and I'm a supporter, and I'm going to remain a supporter of hers. I just disagree with that one statement, because I have to publicly defend the show. What she said is blatantly false. I'm not accusing her of lying. I'm accusing her of not knowing, because she's not a liar. She's an honorable person. She must not have known. The WNBA, could I have done more? Well, guess what, Monica McNutt? I could have done less. Who's done more? Hell, a legitimate argument could be made that the WNBA wasn't doing it for themselves. For themselves. To address Monica McNutt.
Okay. So, and I'm using this picture behind me. Sorry, I had a little glitch there, y'all. Y'all know I don't edit these videos. I'm not going through the trouble to try to edit that out. Sorry. I'm not on that level yet. So, I'm using this picture behind me because this is how Stephen A. was sitting there speechless, looking stuck on stupid, after Monica McNutt rightfully called him out and said that he could have been talking about the WNBA as much as he is now 3 years ago. Okay? So y'all just saw what he said in response to her saying that, because his pride was so bruised by the fact that she said something and he couldn't respond. So let's first say you just saw the video. He did not address directly anything she said for 99% of it. Then at the very end, he said, could I have done more for the NBA? I could have done less. When somebody that's a member of a marginalized group that you're not a part of says you could have done more for our community or this particular group of people, to say I could have done less shows that you have no desire to be of help to that particular community. Because what the response should have been is very simply, you know what? You're right, I could do more. I do have a very large platform. So guess what? Going forward, I will be talking about the WNBA every season. That is the only proper response to what was said to him today. But because he's so prideful, he couldn't do that. So let's also talk about how he tried to take responsibility for these women's careers. So please understand, America and the Black community are patriarchies. So what that means is, if somebody did come to know Monica McNutt through First Take and not through some other way, the reason for that is that they're watching this show hosted and led by a man, as opposed to a show hosted and led by a woman, and they came to discover her on the show. It's the same way that so many women rappers came into the game being part of a crew of women, where they were or a crew of men, where they were the only woman. And if we're, just a side note, if we're really going to get into that, I think part of the reason that Megan is so disrespected by men and male rappers is because she came into the business on her own. She didn't come into the business with a bunch of men, because a lot of men will only give respect to women, a derivative respect to women, because of whatever man they're associated with. So that's the first thing. Monica didn't say anything about that you never have women on your show, Stephen. So you talking about that is a deflection. And then you want to bring Molly into it saying, oh, the show was hosted by a woman. That's exactly what Molly is, a host. And she very rarely gives an opinion about, like a deep, thoughtful opinion about whatever you're talking about in sports. She just kind of hosts the conversation, moves things along, says it's time for us to go to commercial break. That's all she does. So that could be anybody. So I don't understand why you're taking a victory lap about that. Honestly, I would like to see more of these women that are hosting the shows give their sports opinion as well. Like, it's annoying to me to hear mostly the opinions of men. This is what I will say. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but I have not watched First Take in a long time. But there was a period of time, probably over a year ago now, a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years ago, when I did watch First Take pretty regularly. I never heard this man mention the WNBA once. Now, obviously, that's not to say he didn't. I'm just saying I never heard it. And the fact that he chose to respond in this manner, and basically to say that Monica McNutt lied, when literally she didn't lie. She told the complete honest truth about this man. For him to respond and say what she said is false shows that he lacks character and emotional maturity. Because I already told y'all what the appropriate response to what was said to him was. So now let's see going forward how much Monica McNutt is on this show. And who gives a fuck about black men being his boss and running this show when we're talking about women? So I'll leave you with this stuck on stupid face, because that's all Stephen A. gave you today.